Check out carmarshal.com. The link is in the description. They help support us.
I'm shooting you.
No.
I'm still shooting you. I'm shooting you and I'm killing you, and everyone is just looking at what I'm doing. That's real. You need to understand that. So if you're dealing with the threat, deal with the threat. You're able to conceal in this state. It's your Second Amendment right. So I want to go over some things with you regarding your right to return fire, because it's important. And we need to know our rights, and that's what my job is, to make sure you know your rights.
Broward County Deputy trains mosques for active shooters but schools. Posted on February 25, 2018 by Kathy Hinners. People who look to do harm look for weak people. They don't attack people who can defend themselves. And like everybody else here, we have rights to protect ourselves. Nezar Hams, August 4, 2017. As more information is released regarding the horrific school shooting in Parkland, FL, where 17 people were gunned down, we are learning there were 4 other deputies from the Broward County Sheriff's Department that also stayed outside of the school. What would prevent so many sworn law enforcement officers from rushing into the building to engage and neutralize the threat? Only those officers and their leader, Sheriff Scott Israel, would know, and we may never learn that answer. What we do know is for years, prior to the Columbine school shooting, officers were trained to wait for their backup to form teams which would then enter the school to secure it and locate the bad guy. Since Columbine, though, things have changed drastically, with a nationalized protocol that trains officers to immediately locate and eliminate the shooter, even if it is only the first officer who arrives on the scene. This is done in an effort to prevent more lives being lost. Could it be all the deputies that initially arrived were not trained to enter until backup arrived, or do we have something else at play? Well, it seems Sheriff Israel has had some controversy in the past with how things were done, including the identification of the Fort Lauderdale airport shooter in January 2017. The sheriff's office ID'd the shooter as Esteban Santiago, while knowing his true name was Ashik Hamid. Sheriff Israel was also reluctant to label it Islamic terrorism but rather a mental health issue, despite Hamid's social media ramblings and pictures to the contrary. Another questionable action by the sheriff are the several activists he has hired and surrounds himself with. In August of 2014, Regional Operations Director of the Florida chapter of the Council on American Islamic Relations, CAIR, Nezar Hams was sworn in as a deputy of the Broward County Sheriff's Department by Sheriff Scott Israel, despite advice of 3 Broward Sheriff's Office majors who had evaluated Hams during the hiring process. In May 2013, they unanimously signed a form stating, "At this time, I do not recommend Officer Hams for employment." Hams was found to be lying on his polygraph exam about use of illegal drugs and about buying illegal drugs. Not only did Sheriff Israel hire Hams, he allowed him to keep his position with CAIR, which has been named by the U.S. government a co-conspirator for 2 federal trials dealing with the financing of millions of dollars to Hamas. Shortly after hiring Hams, Sheriff Israel utilized his new deputy to travel to mosques to conduct active shooter training. Video player. Midnight. 2440. It is a guess exactly what title Hams holds within the sheriff's office, with limited information only labeling him a special resource officer. So how is it the sheriff permits Hams to instruct Muslims throughout Florida on how to be safe and to protect themselves from crazed shooters, while at least 5 members of the same sheriff's department didn't protect children in a school? Where was Hams as the shooting was unfolding? Was he on duty, perhaps at a mosque training adults? These are just some of the trainings conducted by Hams as an employee of CAIR and the Sheriff's Department. The bottom line is the Sheriff of Broward County, Scott Israel, hired Nezar Hams against his own department's advice, which leads to the thought, is Israel capable of running a department that is up to date on all training, not just selected groups he has chosen to give a protected class to? Perhaps if Sheriff Israel dedicated more time to the entire community, this tragedy may have been prevented.
County, this is Charlotte County Cop Watch, and I wanted to explain what fair use is. You can use pieces of news articles if you're doing it for news reporting, you have commentary, and you're doing it for education purposes. So that's what fair use is, as you can see right here. Another reason why I wanted to make this video is to let you know I have just joined with Patreon. A nice thing with Patreon, I make no money on YouTube. They took the money away years ago, and so this is another way to give, and it's a nice thing too because you can give monthly. You can give $1, $5, $10, whatever. I do 4 to 5 hours a day on trying to wake the sheep up on how corrupt it is and different ways that you can fight the corruption. So Patreon is a way that you can do it, and then of course the old way is still there. Donate to Sheriff County Cop Watch with PayPal or credit card. So keep that in mind. 4 to 5 hours a day. I make no money, but the corruption happened to me and I'm sick of it, so I'm trying to wake people up. But my wife would love it if some, if we could get some help out there. There's 47,000 subscribers. Just think if each one of you subscribers just gave a, let's say, actually, yes, $1 a month. 47,000 subscribers gave $1 a month. That would be awesome. That's not going to happen. But anyways, that would be great if it did happen. But, do the math in your head. Just think about it. Like I said, 4 to 5 hours a day. I get no money from YouTube. YouTube has gone nuts. You can't do anything anymore. They're taking the money away everywhere. So these are a couple different ways that you can still help out with all this time that I put in. And as you know, I'm in a special situation where, at least I can do it. 4 to 5 hours a day. We have a cleaning company during the day. That's what allows me to do this, and we're debt free. So this is my hobby. I don't go fishing and all that other crap. I try to save the world. So help me out to make the wife happy, man. In fact, if you guys did give $1 a day, and there was 47,000 of you, and you did it, and each of you gave $1, and that was every month, oh my God, yes, I could quit. I could start suing them. Another idea too that we have is, if I got, some funds, we could actually contact everyone that has been ticketed and or arrested and put in jail and start sending them postcards to let them know we're here, and to see if everything went all right, and if it didn't, find out their story. So we could even do more investigations and more lawsuits. Lawsuits take money. So just think about that. 47,000 of you so far right now. $1 a day. $1 a month on Patreon, or $5 a month Patreon, 10, 20, whatever. Just do the math in your head. Help out. This is a lot of work every single day. Thanks.